Hi guys, my name's Wade. I'm originally from Australia. I moved to Canada in October and I'm studying general programming at ITD. I'm 34 years old and enjoying it.
Wait, have you done a lot of traveling in general?
I have. So I started traveling pretty much when I was 20 years old and then moved to a few different countries. The first time I moved to the States was when I was 22.
Which part of the States?
Utah.
Oh,
so yeah.
What made you pick Utah out of all?
Well, the same reason I picked Canada. It's for the mountains. So I was working at a ski resort.
So Moab?
No, Salt Lake City.
Nice.
So
okay.
Utah is kind of one of the only places that's similar to like Vancouver where you can have a city, but ski resorts an hour away or whatnot.
Yeah.
So we moved to Utah, lived there for 6 months, and I've been traveling ever since, pretty much.
So is skiing a passion of yours?
It is, yeah, snowboarding.
When did you start?
When I was 20 years old, I think.
Okay.
I was a late starter, but there's not too much skiing in Australia.
Okay.
So yeah, when I was about 20 years old, and then I first worked in a ski resort when I was 21 down in Australia, actually.
So I want to come back to skiing, but let's go back to your childhood. Were you always an active child, or what kind of a child were you?
I was, but wasn't. So I'm kind of an introvert.
Okay.
But also like we're very active. My father, his passion is surfing, kneeboarding.
Yeah.
So it's not really surfing, but it's a variation.
Okay.
And so I grew up going to the beach on all our family holidays. We didn't have we were kind of not poor but not rich.
Middle class.
Yeah, middle class.
Yeah.
So my parents, they still like to go away and everything like that. So we would camp up and down the east coast of Australia.
Yeah.
And at a beach, sort of thing. So we'd have a camper van or a tent, and my father would take us surfing. And so we've always been pretty active, and then always riding a bike around, sort of thing. Yeah.
Are you an only child?
No, I'm the eldest of 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the age difference?
So the age difference is my brother, who's like myself, and my brother's 18 months younger, and then my sister's about 3-4 years younger.
Younger than him.
Younger than myself.
Okay, so it's all about the same.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
My parents popped them out. And, got that over and done with. You know.
That's really good. What's your relationship with your siblings like? Being the older, are you always telling him what to do and pushing him around, or what?
No, so it's kind of complicated. I won't go too much into it, but so my brother and I were always close growing up.
Yeah.
With the 18 months difference, where we grew up, we all had it's just like a relatively small beach town sort of thing. We all had the same group of friends, so we grew up together. And he actually traveled with we traveled together.
Oh, that's awesome.
He lived in Utah with me, and then Canada as well. But we had a falling out about, I guess, maybe 9 years ago, so. Yeah, we haven't spoke since, but
for 9 years.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
it's difficult. I won't go into the
let's not go into that. Yeah.
But and then my sister's a bit younger, so we're close.
Is she still in Australia?
She's still in Australia. She's still with the parents. And
nice.
Yeah, but we're very close.
Okay. So back to childhood, schooling. Were you, because you're doing software right now, right?
Yeah.
Were you into math and sciences, or were you, what was your interest at that point of time?
So I left school when I was in year 10. I didn't really apply myself at that time.
You weren't really the studying type, huh?
Not really. It's kind of weird. I was in, I guess, the medium classes, but probably not high-level math now, but during those years, math was a lot better than English.
So you were more inclined.
I gravitated towards math. And the reason I kind of left school was I went to do a work experience, and I picked electrician. I don't know why. I think back back then, all the electricians that I knew, or people who were electricians, had moved on to different things, and I was intrigued by electricity.
Yeah.
But you know as well as I do, like the reality is always different to what you imagine.
Exactly. Yeah.
So here I am.
You think one thing
about magical electricity. Next minute I'm
pulling wires.
I'm pulling wires in a rooftop.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I did that for work experience, and I wasn't really applying myself at school at that time. So my parents said, "Listen, why not go do an apprenticeship?" And so that's what I did. I applied for a couple of apprenticeships, ended up getting one, and then I went from there.
So pretty much from when you were 16 years old-ish, you've been working.
Yeah, well, yeah,
off and on, of course.
I like to usually work,
party,
extended periods of time, work really hard, and then like semi-retire.
Yeah,
and then go
that's
back
awesome.
To work. Yeah.
That's a really interesting lifestyle.
Yeah.
What did you? So electrician, and then what? What happened after that?
So whilst I was doing my electrical apprenticeship, I had my close group of friends, and I guess I was midway through my apprenticeship, and then they actually moved to Canada.
Okay, which part of Canada?
Whistler.
Oh, no way. Were you
fancy that, an Australian living in Whistler?
Did you guys already started snowboarding? Is that what pulled them to Whistler?
They had, but I hadn't at that stage, or maybe I'd been once or twice, and I remember being really upset. I was like, here I am stuck, like doing this, and they're off having a great time
in Whistler
and whatnot. And so I guess that planted a seed. And then so after my apprenticeship was over, I applied to work at the ski resort in Australia, and that's sort of where I took another turn. You know what I mean? And so then that it was kind of like a rabbit hole. I started working in the ski resort there, then which led to going to Utah, and ultimately led me to going to here in Canada. And so I ended up spending, I guess, maybe 5 years going place to place working in ski resorts.
In Canada? What year span is that?
So it started in 2007. I worked in Perisher, the local resort, and then from there I went back up Sydney. I worked as an electrician to save up some money, and then I went to Utah, came back, went back to Perisher Resort, and then I went back to Utah, and then we moved to Canada. But not to a ski resort straight away. We first moved to Edmonton.
Okay, yeah.
Because we wanted to go work in like the oil sands projects.
Yeah.
But at that time, it was around 2009, and so it was during the GFC, so there wasn't much work around, and so that didn't really eventuate.
Yeah.
And then
you moved here to Vancouver, or
then I had friends from the ski industry working at Whistler, and I wanted to work during the Olympics, so I got in contact with some people who then put me in contact with the snowmaking manager there, and we did a road trip across from Alberta to BC.
Yeah. That's a fun road trip.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's gorgeous.
One of many these days. But and so then I started working at Whistler and spent, I think, probably a year and a half, 2 years there.
Nice. In Whistler, so you lived and worked in Whistler.
Yeah, I didn't live there for the whole time actually. I sort of got stuck.
What do you mean you got stuck?
Well, not stuck, like just. Whistler's kind of like it's its own little environment. You know?
Yeah, so Whistler is.
It's and I don't know, you get stuck in. They call it like adults Disneyland.
Yeah.
You know, and so
you can't get out.
Yeah.
It's you just play, right?
Yeah.
Man, I tell you, Squamish is one of my favorite places in the world to go live.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
It's gorgeous, right?
It's part of the reason I'm in Vancouver now.
So what takes you from working at a ski resort to software and just learning how to develop software? Is it, electrical work and software are kind of related. I can understand that.
Somewhat, yeah.
Yeah.
So after my stint working in ski resorts, it wasn't the end of that, but I'd been living week to week for quite a few years, and so I wanted to establish a base. And there was an opportunity to work like doing mining, oil and gas projects in Australia.
North? Oh, in Australia. Okay.
Yeah, because but similar to up north here, where you would go and
bad conditions and
work fly in, fly out. You'd go live for, depending on the schedule, but I would always do 4 weeks on, 1 week off. And just work every day in 4 weeks, like 12-hour days. It's stinking hot, but you get compensated very well for doing that. So I spent on and off maybe 5 years doing that in many different places throughout Australia. So I'd take breaks in between and go holiday or whatnot, but and go to ski resorts. But then I'd also always come back to that. And so I guess around 2017, my lifestyle changed a bit. Like I had a partner at that time, and I was like, it's not really a healthy lifestyle. The fly in, fly out. Like, sure, you make good money, but it's not the way people are meant to live. Like,
it takes a toll on your body.
Yeah, there's no community, and so like, if you're not around to work on relationships, then you don't have relationships.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kind of thought I needed to transition away from that. And I thought maybe like programming always interests me. And so I thought I think it applies to electrical as well. Like, so I thought
it's related, right?
It's related. So I wanted to. I had no knowledge whatsoever, so I wanted to get an understanding of it, and then see where it went. I didn't have like any set plans. I also attended a meetup in Australia. The theme of it was, is coding going to be the next layer of literacy? And so I thought, I went to that, and they explained how in schools these days, or soon anyway, they're going to be teaching coding. Like, it's going to become similar to math or English in school. So I thought, if I didn't start now, then
you're going to be
behind.
Right. So what led you to choosing ITD? How did you come across ITD?
So I originally met my partner in Canada, but she's also Australian, and we both had like a love for Canada. Okay. So we thought, even when we first got together, there was the idea that we would move to Canada. And so after I decided kind of I was going to go on a different career path, I thought about that, but I still continued working in the electrical industry. And then when me and my partner were deciding, I thought, like, we were deciding where to live in Canada and whatnot, and I thought that was like the right time to maybe like to go in that different avenue. And then I guess I found ITD. I was looking at the Canadian immigration website. And I was looking for schools in BC, preferably schools that you could use as a way to get into Canada.
Because that have a DLI and you can get a study permit.
Exactly, because with my age, at that time when I was applying for ITD, I wasn't entitled to any more working holiday visas. Okay. It's since changed, and I am entitled, but so I was looking at that as kind of a way to get into the country, but then also try something new and whatnot. And so I found ITD was on the list of the accredited colleges. Yes. Okay. And it's sort of out of the list, like it aligned with. I didn't want to go back to school for an extended period of time. I wanted to learn as much
short and sweet to the point.
Learn as much as I could possible in a short time, and then like substitute that learning off campus. Okay. And then transition into the workforce, which ITD offered with the co-op program.
Let me ask you, this is your third term?
It's my third term.
Third term. So you've been here for approximately 9 months, like 8 months, something like that. What has been a surprising factor here for you at ITD? You know, certain things we expect whenever we buy something, we expect certain things, and then when we get it, sometimes we're like, oh no, right? And sometimes we're pleasantly surprised. Regardless, what's been something, just one thing that you've kind of gone, no, I didn't expect that, right?
Well, I'll talk about something good that I didn't really expect. I didn't really think about it before, but I didn't expect there to be such a wide variety of people from different cultures and different countries. And like in my class, I've been exposed to like people from like Brazil, Ukraine, but from different backgrounds. And so I guess it's helped me learn. Like I've had like one guy that I sit next to has done a bachelor's in mathematics, and so he helps me with I haven't been to school in a long time, so he helps me with the math that I haven't learned in quite a while. And then others that are been in the computer, like in the computer hardware industry for many years, so they can give me a perspective that I had no idea about.
So the diversity of not only culture but also backgrounds of how people where they come from and what kind of what gifts they bring with them, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, thinking back now, I should have expected it, but I didn't think about that back then.
Okay, so, cool. Last question for you. What's your goal? What's your passion? Where do you see Wade 5 years from now? Has it been planned, or is it just kind of we'll live with it and see how it unveils itself?
It's somewhat planned, but like loosely planned. So what I want to do is like work something related to computers, software, but also related to the electrical industry. And I also want to be active, and the reason we moved to Canada is so we can go explore the hikes in Vancouver and the island, and be so close to the US. So I just want to be happy.
Awesome, don't we all?
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Wade, for spending time with me today. I really enjoyed it. We love having you here at ITD. Thank you.